with me today. They are part of the Marcus Anthony Educational Institute summer program, and we're going to be talking about school and different things that's going on in this world. And so I'm going to start off with introducing my right hand person, Jackson. And Jackson, I want you to introduce yourself and what do you do? And then we're going to move to Deshaun.
Yes, man.
And then we're going to move to Daniel. So go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Wow. It's not my first time here, but I'm Jackson, and I've been working with Mahi for almost like 2 years now, 3 years.
2 or 3, I think. 2024?
Yeah, so
Okay.
2 years. I'm a student at Bridgewater State University, and just a youth in the community trying to help out Miss
Okay.
Priscilla and Mahi.
My name is Deshaun. I've been working with Mahi for like 2 years. I go to English high school, and I've also want to help out the community because I care about it.
My name is Daniel. I'm 17. I go to English high too. This is my first year working with Miss P. I just want to learn something new about myself and help the community around. Try and make the world a better place and see what I could do.
Right. So this summer, this is, as you all know, this is an election year. And Marcus Anthony Hall is about civic engagement, advocacy, leadership. And before we really get into the conversation, I just want to let people know, yesterday we were at City Hall at the City Council hearing. And my girl, Julia Mejia, had a spell, and they had to take her out in the ambulance. So I'm praying for you, Julia. We hope that you get some rest so that you can come back. But you do need rest, trust me. You work very hard for the city of Boston and your constituents, and we definitely appreciate you. So we're definitely praying for a speedy recovery, and we love you. And so, Daniel, was that your first time going? No, you said you was down at City Hall before. Right?
Yeah, I was there before when we found out about the cutting of the budgets. I went there with my program, Becoming a Man, and
BMA,
yeah,
BAM. What is it?
BAM.
Yeah. Okay.
We went over there. Some of the people from my group talked, like Darvin's. And yeah.
So, what did you all think about the budget cuts?
I thought it was like surprising because in my school we got told very like surprisingly and like telling us this our programs that we've been going to since freshman year is getting cut, and like the relationship that we built over time with the mentors we had, it was heartbreaking.
I actually didn't even know about the budget cuts until I came home from school. So maybe like around May. So that's why I feel like a lot of the times now when most people are like applying for jobs, they can't even get them, or they can't even get like a good paying job at least.
I know. You think about people that go to college, they spend 4 years in college and they get a degree, and they come out and they can't get a job. They got to go get a job at Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's or something, which you got to pay all that money and spend, it's whack.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Deshaun.
Honestly, in my opinion, I really disapprove of the budget cuts because of this reason. I feel like most youth shouldn't be like out in the streets doing just having like, how do I say? They shouldn't be out in the streets just being able to do whatever, because like 9 times out of 10 they're gonna find a way to like do something bad and probably get caught in the wrong situation or something. Right?
Right.
They're gonna get caught in the wrong situation. It's kind of like a pipeline. So it's like a pipeline. If you're not doing anything about it, you're cutting the funding of like youth actually trying to like do good in their community. Then like then they're gonna like find something else to do, and like I said, 9 times out of 10 it's gonna be bad.
That's right.
Right.
Go ahead.
Add on to that.
Sure.
the same thing with like what Deshaun was trying to say. It was like what the jobs and the lack of jobs of us, getting in the budget cuts. It's like we have more opportunities of doing things that we're not supposed to do because we're easily influenced of the people we hang out with and the lack of distractions we have. I think the jobs was really a base of like a form of distractions that we needed and what lead us in a good pathway. And like the cut of like jobs made us fall back. If you think about it, like the fallback where we're just doing things that we quote unquote think is fun, and it's really harming us. And we really need these distractions in the city.
Yeah, and I would say one thing is most of the youth that do like get the jobs they need, they go to those jobs like as a safe space because one thing is most of those jobs offer mentorship within like an actual job, so they might have somebody within that job who they can go talk to or people around them that they could talk to. And just how thing was saying is like most of these jobs are a distraction. They're keeping the youth like safe from being outside and rather than being in trouble every other day and having to like have somebody worry about their whereabouts, if that makes sense.
Yeah. There's a lot of negative stuff, but there also can be very positive stuff. That's one of the reasons why Marcus Anthony, even though it came from a negative situation, Marcus was created. It came from a negative situation. However, I think it's turning out to be a good program for our young folks. And I also want to just say good morning to my engineer, Pastor Bruce Wall, who I haven't seen at the helm in a long time. I thought he retired and left us, but he's still here. How you doing this morning, Pastor Bruce?
Doing well.
That's good. That's good. And he doesn't say much either. And we also have some young folks that are in the back, but they're not on camera. But good morning. Good morning, young man. How are you? That's good. That's good. So we're here and having a discussion about the budget cuts and how you all feel about them. So like, who wants to be who? What type of work would you all like to do once you get out of high school? Because both of you all will be graduating next year, correct?
Yes.
So what would you all like to do? What are you interested in doing?
In my school, I'm in legal protective services, so we're learning things about the law and like different careers that you could, do after high school. I'm looking into becoming a lawyer, like a prosecutor or a defendant, but my second option in that job career too is becoming a firefighter.
Oh, okay. That's a dangerous job.
I know.
Being a firefighter. Yeah, yeah. But there are heroes. They help save a lot of lives. What about you, Deshaun?
When I get out of school and when I graduate, honestly, either I want to be. It's like one of three things I want to be. I want to either be a professor at MIT.
Mm-hmm.
I either want to work at Google or Microsoft. And that's like my...
Because you want to do tech stuff, right?
Yeah, basically.
Mr. Gadget Man, right?
Yep.
Jackson, I know you took up psychology, right?
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't even really know if I'm being honest, I don't really know if psychology is going to be a thing for me, like as like a job wise, because, I think going into college, it was like more so rush for me. I still have time to change my major and pick a new minor, but I think because I do many things, so I'm still like unsure, but I just know whatever I do, it's gonna make me a lot of money. So.
Oh, well, that's good. And then you can come back and donate to Miss P.
We're all funding.
Yeah.
So,
huh?
Oh no, I was reading the comments. My fault.
Oh, are you talking to your people? You can talk to them.
What's it called? I forgot his name. Jason, he's here. He's watching.
Jason.
Yeah, he said he missed you.
Jason Cheatham?
Yeah.
Oh, tell him we miss him too. Tell him we're gonna try to figure out a way to get him back because we really
We'll get
miss
you
him.
back, Jason.
Some way, somehow. So, tell me, what was I gonna ask you? What do you all play any type of sports?
Yeah.
We play football.
Yeah, I play football.
Yeah, you look like you play football.
Thank you. Thank you.
Deshaun, basketball.
I mean, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Jackson. Oh, I know what you box and
Yeah.
you box and you do
little
basketball.
bit.
Yeah. We used to run our program at the DeWitt Center, which I really enjoy being at the DeWitt Center because they have a lot of activities for the youth to do.
Right.
They have like the tech room, the computer room where you can go in and they have basketball and they have other like an art room and stuff. So
Right.
they have a lot of different activities. I think we need more community centers opened up for our young folks.
That brings me back to last year when we was talking about that. I think I had mentioned like a 24-hour community center or something like that.
Yeah. Well, because you know what, it's funny that you say that because a lot of our youth don't have nowhere to go.
Exactly.
They're homeless. They couch surf, and you shouldn't have to worry about where you're gonna sleep at 15 and 16.
Right.
But there is a program called Bridge Over Troubled Water, which we being part of the Nubian Square Task Force. You'll probably meet them like next week when we go down to the Nubian Square. Also, when we do the walk, you'll meet some of them as well. So there's a program in Cambridge. It's called Youth on Fire. And they actually have housing for young folks that don't have nowhere to go. So I don't know a lot about the program. I don't even know if it's still in existence. But
my thing is like with certain things like that, you don't hear too much about it.
Right, because they're doing good things. That's why you have to kind of like advertise. That's why Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all that is very good.
Yeah.
To get it out. But I don't like the negative stuff that goes on.
Yeah.
Why can't you be positive about it instead of being negative?
Yes, ma'am.
And so I think that there's a lot of things that we can do as a community to make the changes, because we have to be the change makers, because you all are our future. We're dying out. A lot of our community activists and people like Chuck Turner, Mel King, Makia Baker Gomez, these were warriors, these were fighters in our community, and they fought for us, And we need young legs now. We need the Joshua generation to come up.
Yeah, and that is true. And I feel like most of the times, the youth are like just scared to talk because sometimes I feel like we feel as our opinions don't matter because the older generation feels like they already have it figured out for the rest of us.
But obviously they don't, right?
Yeah.
Because if the older generation had it figured out, they'd be a lot better. We wouldn't be fighting for the same things that Martin Luther King was fighting for, you know? We're basically fighting for the same things. This is like 50, 60 years later.
Right.
So we need to come up with a new strategy and a new way, of doing things.
Yeah.
We start different communities. We have political task force and things that go for a while and then they die out. But we are part of the Black Agenda Coalition, which you all will be this evening at 6. We'll be meeting at Torchlight with Matt Hudson and the rest of the group. And so we're really trying to do things, create change, because that's what we need. But I think a lot of times the youth also, they miss love. Some of them don't have love. Some of them, come from dysfunctional homes. Some of them, they're so much into their phones and TikTok and that they believe that stuff that's on there. Some of it is fake. Like one time I was watching you, Jackson, and I'm like, "What you doing? How you doing that? Why are you doing that to that girl?" And then you told me it was just a real.
Most of it like it's just like skits or like short film videos. It's basically just a short video of a creative idea with and I get like certain people to help me with it. Like we do acting. It's basically like, if anything, it'll help me for a future position in acting or like camera work.
Okay, we have a caller.
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Minister Priscilla. It's been a while.
How you doing, Brother Eric?
Excellent. Good
Great.
to see you guys.
Great to hear you.
Thank you. I wanted to comment on an earlier segment about the budget cuts.
Mm-hmm.
I know that a lot of people are concerned about the budget cuts and don't agree with them, but what are we doing to stop it, or what are we doing in spite of it? Because we don't have to rely on federal funds as a community. We have the right and we have the power to go after corporate dollars and create our own programming. And that's what we're not doing. We're not going after the corporate dollars, these businesses that are popping up in our neighborhoods and taking tax dollars from the city to become a business in our community. So as a community, we need to stand together and go after the corporate dollars and saying, hey, you're making money being in our community, so give back to our community.
That's true. That's true. I also think about also like where their tax dollars going to, because everybody has to pay taxes. But that is a idea, and that is some of the things that we are working on at the Black Agenda Coalition, because we do have to do for self. We can't rely on the government, because they already showed us that they don't care about us, and they're not really going to do a whole lot to help.
Remember, at one point in time, we had a community that didn't rely on the government; we did for ourselves.
Right. But I think things change, and unfortunately, it went south instead of north. So, but
we can't let that deter us from still trying.
Right. And
one other point, I wanted to talk to the young men that are there about future jobs and different things. And Minister Priscilla, you know the circles I run with. But I wanted to put a couple of ideas in your head, especially those that are interested in tech. The world of drones, if you saw the drone show for the fireworks, you see the amazing things people are doing with drones, and they're making a bank doing it. I have friends that are pilots for like American Airlines, JetBlue, who have stopped doing commercial piloting and becoming a drone pilot because they're making more money.
Wow.
Getting the same license. You need the same license as a regular pilot to fly a drone commercially. And with that, you can, get all these big corporations like cell phone towers that don't want to send people up the towers. You can fly your drone up there and pay them, get paid $200, $300 an hour to do that. And there's a lot of ways to make money doing drones.
I have a question.
Landscaping, housing, real estate, movies. They use a lot of drones now. I heard of someone that said they wanted to get into acting and stuff, but that's another entry into the movie industry. But there are ways out there that, for some reason, are escaping our people. And the white folks are learning these ways of making the money that don't require a lot. Whether it's AI coding and stuff like that, that's where a lot of these guys are making the money. And you're going into college, you're getting into debt, and then you're trying to fight your way up this corporate ladder in the law firm and becoming a partner and stuff like that, while other younger folks in your generation are sitting back making bank and not having to work twice as hard. So I want you to explore other opportunities. Just search. You guys are good at AI, Googling, other ways of making money without And I'm not putting school down. I went to college and stuff like that, and in fact, my degrees are in psychology and sociology. So, but I end up not doing that afterwards. So that's another story. But I implore you to just take a look at some of the other things that are out there and don't limit yourself. to just
Right.
the norm.
Right. I would say one thing that I do know with the basic knowledge that I have about drones is just like having a pilot license, you also have to have a license to fly a drone, and that takes like you have to do a certain amount of hours for that, correct?
No, it's not. You pay $135, and it's called the Part 107 license. And you're correct. It is the same license pilots have to take. There's not a certain number of hours that you have to fly. You could actually just study, take the test, and grab it. However, if you want to become a pilot, flying an actual plane, that's where you have to have the hours.
Okay.
Because you're dealing with a huge machine, and they want to make sure you're not going to crash that into a neighborhood or anything.
Right.
So yeah, for that, yes, you need the hours to get a pilot's license. A drone license is taking the same test, written test, but you don't need the hours.
Okay. Just needed a clarification.
So, I know, I actually have a friend that's going to be teaching us some AI stuff. Her name is Deborah Sharif, and she's really good with the AI technology. So I know that's a lot of it is, people are doing great things with AI. And so I don't know. I use it sometimes. I've played around with ChatGPT and created some stuff. but why y'all laughing at me? Signing.
It's not going anywhere, so it's better for us to embrace it than to just let it pass us by.
Yeah, I know. But sometimes, I would say I think folks, me and Pastor Bruce's generations were kind of like, but Pastor Bruce is doing good on AI. You see his stuff? He needs to teach. He needs to teach me some stuff because he's really good. He's doing his flyers and everything. So, yeah, So I shouldn't say our generation because Pastor Bruce, he got it going on. Yeah.
But I don't want to take up more of your time. I'll keep listening, gentlemen. Just stay strong and be the leaders. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Eric, for calling. And we have a mutual friend, Antonio Edwards. Yeah. So we were talking. She's a part of the Black Agenda Coalition, and she's trying to get a bill passed about the
she's part of my Toastmasters club.
Yeah. So all right. Well, thanks for calling. We appreciate you calling. Keep listening.
Yes, fine.
And come.
Have a great.
If you have any other ideas, you can call us.
Absolutely.
We never turn down ideas. Good list. Good. I'm hearing from you, Eric.
You as well.
Okay. Huh?
That's him typing.
Oh, okay. He's typing and talking. Yeah. We do have to really think. Start thinking outside of the box, doing different things. To create our own income, because we can't depend on the government because we see what they've done. But who did that?
Something with the phone.
Oh, did you turn it off? I mean, did you hang up? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you all know my motto is that we are the people, we have the power, and I believe that. I really, really believe that. And so I'm looking forward to this summer and doing different things. But we have to hold our elected officials accountable because they're supposed to represent us, and they're supposed to like I said, we pay our taxes. So they need to do something besides take photo ops with different people and run to meetings and stuff. They really need to advocate, because things don't look good at all, but like I said, we the people, we have the power. And so we at Mahi, we do a lot of civic engagement stuff. We do advocacy and leadership. because we want you all to be leaders, and we want you all to be able to speak up for yourself. Like you said, you've been to the protests around the budget cuts, and Jackson, I know you've been hanging with me, so you know about us we doing protests, and sometimes they change things and sometimes they don't, but you got to keep fighting because it's a struggle. There was a song, it's a struggle sometime, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. I don't remember who sang it, but so Jackson, you were in college. You was at at Bridgewater State, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And how was the setting there? Like, you know, that what type of things that you all study, and were your classes kind of like,
I would say the setting this year was more different than it was last year. This year I see more black people than last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the classes for me it was too much. I was taking too many classes.
Really? How many?
And they were all spread out throughout the campus. I was taking 5.
Huh?
I was taking 5 classes. I was
5
taking intro to
classes?
psych. I was taking logical reasoning. I was taking, I think, calculus, like elementary calculus. Yeah, it was like having to wake up every day early in the morning was just a pain. Just a pain.
Well, I know I don't like waking up early in the morning either, but you gotta get up.
Mhm.
You ever heard that saying, the early bird catches the worm?
Yeah, and sometimes
I know it's an old saying, but
It's a real saying.
And I
Real
would say
saying.
one of the worst parts about it is sometimes I would show up to class and there's nobody there because I didn't read my email and they would cancel class. So I was like, "Dang, I woke up so early for no reason."
yeah, but then
Yeah, I mean, it still builds.
Yeah, it builds character for sure. But yeah,
Yeah. We need to also talk about the fact that, like, what was it? The fact that some politicians just don't like to treat the hand that feeds them nicely.
because they feel like we don't feed them,
Exactly.
because we don't vote. We don't see. We have to support candidates financially. And then when they do get elected, we have to show up to like hearings and meetings and things because
At this point, it's like the fact that we're not as engaged as we should be. They might as well be doing it behind closed doors.
and that's what happens.
that's a bar.
yeah.
That's a bar.
Because the politicians really look at who's helping them, who's supporting them financially,
Right.
and who's voting,
Mhm.
And so if you're not voting, if your community's not voting, they don't give you anything. They ignore you basically, because they figure, well, these people over here, they vote, so they're the ones that I need to cater to and do what they ask me to do.
Either that, or they think that like you're already content with like what you have, so like they just like turn a blind eye to you.
Most of the time.
If you say you have like a problem and you don't like try and follow up on like fixing that problem, they're just gonna like assume that it's just complaints and empty complaints and nothing else.
But most of the times, like, these people could buy votes or they can make fake promises and not stick to them.
Oh yeah, we know about fake promises. So, I was gonna ask you, how do you all feel about the since you all are in Boston Public Schools, Deshaun and Daniel, how do you all feel about the White Stadium situation with the soccer team and the way they're practically taking it over? Even though White Stadium belongs to Boston Public Schools, it looked like it's being turned into a private thing, where they're having, from what I understand, a beer garden, and there's only certain times of the year you could use it. If you live in that area, you have to get a permit to park in front of your own house. So it's and they're building it, so it can't be, it can't stop. And the fact that I believe now it's over $100 million that the city has to put in, and then the other folks have to put in their money. What do you all think about that?
I feel like if their city's using our tax money to build like a private stadium, you might as well just like have a random politician pull up to my house, take all the money out of my card and wallet, and just let them have it. Like,
you feel like you're being robbed,
I
right?
feel like I'm being. I really do feel like I'm being robbed. Like, I really shouldn't have to say this, but like, why would you take the public's money to make something private?
Good question.
That's a bar.
Yeah.
To add on, it's like there's so many problems in the city that we need to use the real money that we're putting, like they took from our like quote unquote taxes, and use them for the people, not for the people that's private, right? So it's for the wealth.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, the rich. Well, they just are saying the rich get rich and poor get poor,
Literally.
and we know why, because the rich keep taking the money from the poor. And
I feel like they also could have like better ways of going about this. Like, for example, I know you can't really have like just like anybody walk into the new stadium, right? You can't just really have anybody walk into the stadium. But like it should be like it should have like a reservation like system instead of like being just privatized.
I mean, before that it was just open.
Exactly.
And it's like it's just
I believe there was a fire there some years ago, and it just kind of ran down. No one really tried to build it up. But in my opinion, and this is my opinion, I believe that what they should have did was just took the money, how much it took, and just rebuilt that stadium for the youth, for the Boston Public Schools, which that's what it should be. But to take it and then make it into something that our community isn't going to really be able to utilize the way we have been, I think that's wrong. I remember in 2014 when they were talking about 2024, and they were talking about bringing the Olympics in Boston, and we literally had to stop that, because if they had brought the Olympic and they were talking about doing this to Franklin Park, and I mean it was just a mess. It would have really destroyed our city. So sometimes when you speak up and speak out, you do get heard,
even if it's not like a good like claim or reasoning, at least it's still like a vote being cast out. You feel me?
I just feel like sometimes, as people, and especially as Black people, we are being taken advantage of. We have always been taken advantage of, because we were stolen from our country. We were stolen, kidnapped, brought here, but slavery didn't. We were kings and queens in Africa, and a lot of people don't realize what has happened to us. Right now, we have a lot of Black millionaires. We have ball players. We have actors and actresses. We have people that own their own businesses and stuff, and it just seems like that we don't work together in order to come together. It seems like we don't trust each other, especially when it comes to money. But there are things that we can do, and we just have to sit down and write it out and plan it. I feel like at this point, Boston Public School is kind of like a disappointment to some of our people. I mean, the things that you're learning or trying to learn. I mean, they took civic engagement out of the school. They're trying to change history, and so we have to speak up for those type of things. We can't let that happen, because if we don't know our history, we lost in space, and so and we can see that. I mean, every day you turn on your TV now, someone's been shot, someone's been. It's amazing how I think the first school, I don't know if it was Columbine, where they had it might have been one before that, where they had major shootings and stuff, and now it's almost like
it's almost daily.
Yeah, and so that means that our country is getting more violent and more violent. And if you look at the history of all the wars that we have been in. You know, it's just like we live in a violent society, and that because war, people make money during war. But what about all the people that die? You know, and so we have to we have to do better. You know, we don't have no choice. And it starts with you guys. Unfortunately, y'all, it's your turn. Y'all it.
Nah, seriously.
Yeah.
It's sad how not a lot of youth know their history. It's
Mhm.
like, and it feel like they need to be taught more about the past than like knowing that they're the future. 'Cause
Exactly.
You need to know what came before you.
It's
before you
like
do anything.
if you don't know at all about your history, it's like not knowing which way's down, which way's up. Like you're just completely disoriented and you don't know how to go forward if you don't have those those key starting points that started everything.
And for example, like if you want to be a leader, you will look in the past of the before, like the old activists, like the people before you. You see what they did and what you could do better. And it's like we need more people to know the past. We need history told to us.
Yeah, we need history, definitely. And Black history should not just be 1 month in February. It should.
It really shouldn't.
Because it's American history. You know, a lot of people don't know, and I don't know what young folks are being taught in school nowadays. I know they changed the way you do math. I don't care. 1 and 1 is still 2. You know, so I mean, you can make it different. I've seen them like do different ways of doing things, and I don't know. I guess I'm just.
Yeah, speaking of, they also need to they need to how should I put this? They need to revamp the school system.
And we need to elect a school committee. That's another thing.
Yeah, we do need a school committee, especially like one for students, because like unironic. Huh? Yeah, exactly. That's what I was basically trying to say. Student voice. We need a student voice in like a say of like which schools get built. So not which schools get built, but like how to address certain problems. Students do need their voice in like some of these opinions because after all, at the end of the day, they go to the schools. They go, they go to the schools. They're the one. There's education's on the line. It's not anyone else's above. It's mostly theirs. So they should definitely have a voice.
Well, we did actually vote for elected school committee some years ago when Michelle Wu became the mayor the first time, and we voted like almost 80% of Boston residents asked for elected school committee, but for whatever reason, it did not happen, and so that's why we have this situation with White Stadium because there's no elected school committee. It's appointed. And when you're appointed, you do what the appointee tells you to do, you know? And so
basically, and it causes like a bunch of bias, a lot of bias.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Professor.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good, and yourself, Grace?
Good. And I'm glad that you got our future on broadcasting this morning, because the children and the youth are definitely our future.
Yes.
Yeah, and I just called to give a little history of White Stadium, because this is where I grew up at. This is my hometown, and when I was a child, all the way up until I was an adult, became an adult, Franklin Park and White Stadium is the only place where Black people could go when I was growing up. We did not go to the Boston Garden, which is the TV Garden, due to racial violence. We did not go to the Fenway Park due to racial violence. We did not go to Jamaica Pond or to the Honor Arboretum due to racial violence. And the only place where we could go and where we could feel safe and comfortable was Franklin Park and White Stadium. And White Stadium has always been a public and private facility. I myself ran track there as a high school student at the Jeremiah Burke. And they also had concerts there. So we grew up, and as teenagers, we grew up. As kids, our parents brought us, but as teenagers, we walked to White Stadium, Franklin Park, to Elmer Lewis Playhouse in the Park, White Stadium. I seen Richard Pryor at White Stadium.
Really?
Yeah, Evelyn Champagne King. So I didn't see my older sisters and brothers seeing Sly Family Stone. I even had elders tell me they seen Duke Ellington there. So White Stadium has always been a major event, as well as sports, and as well as the community written facilities, as well as free summer sports camp. So I spent 15 years transporting youth there to the free summer sports camps they would have every summer from 8 to 3. Also free, they would have all the different sports there. And the facility became dilapidated, so that's why we could no longer go in the building. It was not safe to go in the building, so we was not able to have that. So it's unfortunate that these youth did not grow up and did not experience White Stadium and Franklin Park like we did. Back in the day, you could drive in Franklin Park. My parents, aunts, uncles always, had picnics. We also went to the playground on Severside. So every inch of Franklin Park we enjoyed as a teenager. We got hired summer jobs for youth on the golf course, cleaning it up, whatever. So Franklin Park and White Stadium, it has a historical significance to the Black community, and we've been waiting for over 40 years for the redevelopment of White Stadium. And if you go Google White Stadium, the history of White Stadium, all the meetings, everything about White Stadium has been posted. And I don't think people have read that. But the redevelopment of White Stadium also is historical significance to the Black community, because since the Black community moved into Roxbury, North Dorchester, and Mattapan, that area was a Jewish community. And when the Jewish community moved out of those areas and Blacks were forced out of the West End and South End and moved into Roxbury, Dorchester, and Mattapan, the city of Boston has failed to do any major investment into the Black community since then. Governor Deval Patrick made an attempt to do a project, a major investment, and I read that. I didn't know that happened, but that did not happen. People blocked that from happening. So this renovation of White Stadium and the historical disinvestment into the Black community that we experienced for generations all these years, and that history we don't know about. But if you read the Blue Hill Avenue Transportation Action Plan, it documents the historical disinvestment into the Black community, which many people knew. The young people wouldn't know that history. People new to the city wouldn't know, and they wouldn't know the significance of what White Stadium and Franklin Park meant to the Black community. It was the only place that we could safely go in the city, only outdoor space that we could safely go and didn't have to deal with racist attacks. We had to deal with racist attacks, and that's why many people, you don't see many Blacks still at some of these outdoor sports places, because of that. And the elders remember those. They remember those days, and a lot of people, they don't know the history of that. And so, yes, I support the redevelopment of White Stadium because we are owed that. We are owed that.
But
And
excuse me, let me just
yeah,
ask you a question, Grace. So
yeah.
you think the fact that they are making a park, the White Stadium, public, private, so that people can have like beer gardens and restaurants, and the fact that people will not be able to park in their own homes in front of their houses without getting permits. You think that's okay?
Okay, so let me address not being able to park. If you drive around those streets around where Franklin Park is,
Mm-hmm.
most of those streets have resident parking.
Mm-hmm.
There's limited parking already. If I go there and I'm trying to park, it's limited parking on a lot of those streets. They already have resident parking,
I know,
and
but
they
I'm
don't.
not.
Yeah. So one, there's already restricted parking. Those neighbors residents who live in that area have already made most of those streets over there are resident parking. There's hardly any parking for if you go now trying to park. There is
Right, but
no
that's but that but
parking. That's one thing. But that's one thing. That's one of your questions. The other thing is, look at Fenway Park. No, just look at the world. The first. We'll look at the World Cup.
cup. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which they're at Gillette Stadium, which they're promoting for this event, the Boston Stadium. Look how much money that has brought to that community. Those residents are over there, are so excited. They're renting out their driveways. They're setting up tables. They're doing Airbnb. That event has brought so much money into that community. Our community, we need to be a destination, and we need money to be brought into our community. All those businesses that are around
Hold on,
Franklin,
hold on 1 minute, Grace.
yeah.
Good morning,
So that's
caller.
it.
You're on the air. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Hi, Sister Priscilla. This is Nardella.
Oh, hi, Nadella. How you doing?
I'm good. I hope you're doing well.
Yes.
I'm glad that I could have a chance to call in. So I heard there's something about there's
Turn your radio down, Nadella.
okay. How's that?
Yes. Okay.
Oh, okay. I heard something that there's a thank you for your program. But I also heard when you're talking about accountability, I heard that there's going to be a forum. Is there a forum tonight? With the city councilors, certain city councilors.
I think there is supposed to be a part two from that other. And I don't have my phone on me, so I can't even.
Okay.
I know it's supposed to be tonight from 6 to 8, or 6 to 9, but I'm trying to remember where is it at. Oh, it's at the DeWitt Center. Yeah, there's a meeting.
Okay.
It's a part two from the. I don't know if it's a part two from the Roxbury Community College meeting or a part two from the DeWitt meeting, but there is a meeting between 6 and 8 or 6 and 9 at the DeWitt Center, which with the same elected officials I think that were there the first time. So it's definitely a conflict in my schedule, yeah, I'm sure it'll be a nice showing.
Well, I love the work that you're doing with the young people, and I encourage them to keep getting involved because I was listening. They're making some great points. We can't have big businesses taking, our taxpayer dollars, and the benefit at the top is for private entities. As businesses come in with these great ideas and they're not held accountable, and people rubber stamp it, and then the residents, the voters, the people that live in these communities are the ones that lose the most. I have yet to see, and I don't know if anything has come out from the school department when it comes to White Stadium. What is the schedule for the students to play at that, facility? If they said it's for the school and they're just the professional team is working around that, well, where's the schedule? That schedule should be out now with all these the many athletic programs that occur in the school, they should have that schedule out and then see where the professional women's soccer team comes into that. But I mean, they just keep telling on themselves that they're giving over for the sake of the dollar, but it's really at the expense of the residents. And Fenway Park is a whole lot different than White Stadium, which is a guise pretending to cater to the students. But the real shield is the profits for these private entities. So I just want to throw that out there. I'm sure it's very debatable, but I want to just lift you up, Sister Priscilla, and the work that you're doing in the community. Keep it up. We need you.
Thank you, Nadell. I'm trying to retire, believe it or not.
No, you're not. You're never gonna.
I am really trying to pass this torch.
Yeah. Well, look, young people, I mean, listen, you got a great advocate there in Jackson, but you're not going anywhere. Stop it.
Thanks for calling, Nadella. I think we only have a couple of
day.
You too. Hope to see you soon, Nadella. I miss you. We have like 4 minutes left. Any last words, guys? I mean, go ahead, Deshaun. You know your voice has got. What is that? What is that?
No, every time.
We got 1 minute. Okay, we only got 1 minute, so I gotta close this out real quick. But we will be back here next week, same time, same channel, and we may, since it's the summertime, we may let the youth take over instead of it being People Power with Priscilla. It can be People Power with Priscilla's youth and Mahi. So anybody